Rabbi Meir Kirschner, and I am the head supervising rabbi at Streits Matzah Bakery, where we are right now. I became the head rabbi here 6 years ago. We are very, very busy here at Streits. It takes us 6 months to bake kosher for Passover, all the matzahs and matzah farfel and matzah meal and cake meal that's needed for Passover. An 8-day holiday, it takes us 6 months. And the other 6 months we're baking the non-Passover matzahs. So when we're baking for Passover 6 months, I have 6 rabbis under me, and I have to be here before production starts to make sure that all the equipment was cleaned properly the night before when we finished, and that there's no old dough left on the equipment, and everything is perfectly clean and ready to go. There's two differences between kosher for Passover and regular matzah. Matzah is basically flour and water, so there's really nothing not kosher about flour and water. The only thing is, when Passover comes, there's special rules. So the flour has to be special flour, guarded, as we call it. Some people eat Passover matzah that the flour is guarded actually from the time it's cut in the fields, and that's called the shmura matzah. Rabbis are there to make sure that no rain or any water gets on the wheat. And most of our flour is guarded from the time it's ground in the mills. So there's a rabbi there to make sure that no water, or our flour's unbleached, because if any bleach got on it, again, that would be water. And what's the problem when water hits flour? Again, the rabbis determined that in 18 minutes from the time any liquid hits flour, you have to finish baking the matzahs. It has to be completely, kneaded and baked. Otherwise, it starts to leaven, and we need unleavened bread. So it all has to be done in 18 minutes. Streits originally had a hand matzah bakery. Those are the round ones that are made from the shmura matzah that I talked about, on Pitt Street, 3 blocks down, from 1917 till 1925. And 1925, in this exact location, he started this machine matzah bakery. It was the first floor, and above us was all the famous Lower East Side tenements, where most of the immigrants lived when they came over in the late early 1900s. Over the years, we expanded to 4 buildings. It's the only family-owned matzah bakery left in the United States. You feel when you step in with the old, machinery and the old ovens and everything. You do feel that you're walking back, almost 100 years back in time. What people remember is Jack Streit was, outlived his brother Irving, and he ran the business for many, many years, and he used to actually go in. You would see his feet coming out of the end of the oven. Yeah, people always tell me, meet people, oh, I used to work in the city. I used to come down here and get, broken pieces of matzah for like, 50 cents a bag and everything. And I said, yeah, same thing. People want it. We accommodate them. And yeah, that's what, nothing changes here much. People ask me sometimes, the matzah didn't taste the same as I'm used to. Did you change the recipe? I said, nothing here at Streits changes. Everything's the same for 87 years.
As I sit here today, this is really the home of Mencius Society for the Arts. And we are a non-profit organization. We're devoted to traditional arts and traditional cultures. Like it or not, I became sort of the unofficial, oh, okay, Julie, so you know about this, tell us about this, tell us about that. And that's how the food came about. I had another class that was actually constituted by the friends amongst themselves. And these were all young moms. And this was a group of 4 mothers, and 2 of them were connected ethnically to Chinese. The other 2 were not. The other 2 may have been married to Chinese, but they were not. They were of other ethnicities. And then, what they had in common was they married. Of course, they have little kids. They can't always go out to dinner. and certainly not healthy to have takeout. So and then finally they said, look, we just got so sick of cooking spaghetti every day. That was it. For home-style Cantonese cooking, right? I try to cover in terms of the process of cooking, so that it's not so much the specific recipes, but within that process, there's a repertoire of things you can plug in. Okay, so it's a paradigm. You have the steaming process, which is your classic, the must-have in a Cantonese home. The idea is when you put 2 or 3 or 4 dishes onto a table to have a meal, you need to have a balance of foods that are on the dry, crispy side, and foods that have more moisture that's been steamed, or foods that are soupy, that you make a soup with it. So you have different things. So it's not just all stir fried. But usually, this is how New York is, and that's the beauty of it. The people that would go as far as to sign up for a cooking class like this, they're not right. Generally, they're not from some small place in Missouri. Cantonese people eat quite a bit of organ meats. Okay, we love, liver and, intestines and tongues and all of the blood. And seafood especially, we're very concerned with the freshness of seafood, especially if they're still, flopping around in the bag, when you take them home. That's considered the good stuff. When you first buy a wok new from a store, you need to actually break it in, okay? Get it integrated into your home. And there are all of these mythical folk beliefs around the wok. You call it superstition if you like. And then at the same time, there are these practical matters of wanting the wok to serve you well, because it's such an important instrument in your home, and it's supposed to be long-lasting. So different families actually have different stories around how they break open a wok. What we call in Cantonese hoi wok, which is opening the wok.
My name is Sam Greenfield, and we're in the Sweet Life on Hester Street, the corner of Hester and Ludlow, on the Lower East Side. That's right. I've been here 8 years. The store has been here 30 years now. It was opened in 1982. The previous owner worked with us for almost a year after we purchased the business, and taught us all, chocolate making techniques, and so we've really kept a lot of what they've done, what they built up, and then we've added over the years. We've added our own things in terms of chocolate making. The previous owners were husband and wife, Jerry and Terry. They lived actually on the block. Jerry always tells the story why he opened the store in this location. One of the reasons is there was at one time, until about 4 years ago, there was a bakery about 3/4 of the way down the block called Gertel's. It was a kosher bakery, and quite often, especially on Sunday mornings, the line would be down the block. Actually, there would be a line coming from Gertel's down to this corner and be in front of the store. So he said that was one of the reasons why he opened the store right here, is he figured the traffic that brought. There was certainly a draw to the neighborhood or to the block, especially around holiday time. It was a kosher bakery, so especially around New Year's or Passover, it would certainly be a big draw to the block. So we saw that the first few years that we were here, but they closed about 4 years ago. Yeah. People still come and ask where the bakery is. It's a very diverse neighborhood. You meet all different types of people. We also come across a lot of tourists, so it's just besides the local clientele, we meet people from all over that come in and tell us stories of their upbringing and their childhood on the Lower East Side. Bringing in their children to show them shops that they used to shop in. So it's been interesting meeting all different types of people. Yeah. Our biggest seller are probably items that we make here. We make some chocolate items here. We make chocolate-covered marshmallow pops, which are called softy pops, or chocolate-covered pretzels. Those are probably the biggest sellers. We don't make it from the bean. It's not like we get beans and ground it, but we do get chocolate. We use a Belgian chocolate, which we get in 50-pound blocks, and we melt it. And we make all, besides dipping, we mostly dipping, whether it's fruit. We make different barks with all different nuts and dried fruit. And then we're dipping apricots, oranges. Really, one of our mottos is anything can be dipped in chocolate. So a wide variety of different chocolates which we make. That changes a lot, but probably right now we have these chocolate-covered cinnamon pecans, which I like a lot. But that changes probably daily. I guess it's just, besides the taste and the sweetness of it, maybe it's bringing back childhood memories, or just something to give you a little energy and brighten up your day. Probably just dealing with happy people all day, or making people happy, and getting to try everything.